Okay, the book of Proverbs is packed with short, practical insights about wisdom, character, relationships, and godly living. Written mostly by King Solomon, it's basically a collection of wise sayings that provide guidance for nearly every aspect of life. Let's see chapter by chapter, focusing on some key themes and spiritual insights along the way. The first nine chapters focus on the value of wisdom, contrasting the paths of wisdom and folly. So, chapter 1 talks about the purpose of this book to impart knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and we meet wisdom personified as a woman calling out in the streets, urging people to listen and reject foolishness. The chapter ends with a warning about the consequences of ignoring wisdom. Now, chapter 2 describes the benefits of pursuing wisdom, protection, understanding, and guidance. Seeking wisdom is like searching for hidden treasure, and those who find it gain insight and protection. Now, chapter 3 emphasizes trusting God completely. The famous Bible verse, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge Him, He will make your path straight. So this chapter highlights the blessings of wisdom, including health, prosperity, and peace. Now, fourth chapter talks about it records basically a father's advice to his son, urging him to guard his heart and follow the way of wisdom. Wisdom is compared to shining light that leads to life, while foolishness leads to darkness. Chapter 5 and 7 they warn against immorality, emphasize staying faithful. The dangers of adultery and unwise choices are highlighted in this, showing how immorality leads to ruin. 8, 9 chapters again personify wisdom, describing her as calling out to all who will listen. In contrast, folly is also personified, inviting people down a path that ultimately leads to destruction. So these 1 to 9 chapters show us the importance of seeking wisdom and fearing Lord as the foundation of understanding. Wisdom protects and guides, while folly and immorality lead to destruction. Now, chapters 10 to 15, they are Proverbs of Solomon, the wise versus foolish. That's the theme. Starting in 10th chapter, they become shorter and more pointed, contrasting the wise and foolish ways of life. 10 to 15 especially offer practical advice on topics like honesty, integrity, humility, work ethic, relationships, and the power of our tongue, words. Common themes include the rewards of wisdom, righteousness versus the consequences of foolishness and wickedness. 10 to 10 12 especially hatred stirs up conflict, but love covers over all wrongs. That's a powerful reminder of love and forgiveness. And 12th chapter, first verse, it teaches that only a wise person accepts correction, while fools despise correction. 15.1 highlights the importance of gentle responses. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. So, 16 to 22 talk about wisdom in everyday life. Especially 16 teaches that while we make plans, it is ultimately the Lord who establishes our steps, emphasizing humility and dependence on God. 17:17 is a classic verse on friendship. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for a time of adversity. Chapter 18 talks about the power of words and warns against hasty decisions, noting the tongue has the power of life and death. And 19 emphasizes the importance of wisdom over wealth and the value of patience. 20 talks about, encourages integrity and warns against dishonesty and laziness. 21 to 22 continue offering wisdom about justice, generosity, self-control, and training children in the way they should go in 22nd chapter, 6th verse. So these chapters teach that wisdom impacts all areas of our lives, from how we plan and speak to how we manage relationships and finances. God's wisdom is the foundation for a life that honors Him and blesses others. Now, 23 to 29, they include warnings, wisdom again, and discipline. So 23 especially talks against envy, drunkenness, gluttony, greed, reminding readers that the self-discipline is essential. 24 teaches that righteous people may stumble, but they get up again, encouraging resilience. 25th is basically compiled by King Hezekiah's men. This includes wisdom on conflict resolution, diplomacy, and humility. 26th exposes the foolishness of pride and self deception. Now, 27 to 29 discuss the importance of accountability, discipline, and wise counsel. 27:17, as iron sharpens iron, as one person sharpens another, highlighting the value of community and honest friendships. This is where I did this video. Husband and wife, when they fight, there's something beautiful coming out of that fight if they are fighting in a right way. So these chapters, all these chapters remind us to practice humility, self-control, and resilience. They emphasize the value of godly discipline, friendship, and courage to grow in wisdom. Now, the sayings of Agur in 30th chapter, it's a unique edition attributed to a man named Agur. He humbly admits his lack of understanding and shares his insightful observations about life. Agur offers a prayer asking God for neither poverty nor riches, expressing a desire for contentment and honesty. He also shares observations on the wonders of creation, reflecting on the lessons we can learn from nature, like the industry of ants or the strength of locusts when united. His reflections basically teach us humility, contentment, and reverence for God's creation. His desire for neither poverty nor wealth encourages us to seek a life that's both balanced and focused on God and contentment given by God. So 31st chapter, this describes a virtuous woman, often referred to as Proverbs 31 woman. This ideal is a portrait of someone who is diligent, wise, at the same time compassionate, and a blessing to her family and the community around. So this woman is praised for her kindness, strength, wisdom, and dedication to her family, all of which are grounded in her fear of the Lord. So this 31st chapter was written by King Lemuel, basically an instruction given by his mother to him. She talks about how kings should be away from adultery or even wine, excessive wine indulgence, and at the same time talks about virtuous woman, a woman um, with godly character and hardworking nature. The chapter celebrates the virtues of dedication, generosity, and reverence for God as a foundation for living a life of impact. So, overall spiritual lessons in this book of Proverbs: fear of the Lord is the beginning of the wisdom. Wisdom impacts all areas of our lives, and the power of our words, the value of disciplining ourselves, God's sovereignty, and still human planning, and the importance of community. Proverbs really highlights the value of good friends and wise counsel, teaching that we are sharpened and strengthened by others. So this whole book of Proverbs calls us to embrace wisdom as a way of life, showing that Wisdom is not merely the right things, but living them out with integrity and reverence for God. God bless you.